Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Antonio checking in. And today I just want to jump right into it and talk about, you know, certain type of energetic individuals. You ever meet people who, no matter what's going on, they always find a negative outlook on it, no matter how much you attempt to sway them to perceive something in another way, it's like they always find a negative viewpoint. Like, no matter how much you try to uplift them, it's always, yeah, but what if this? Yeah, but what if this? Or, it's like every time, it's like they always in some drama. They always want to know what's going on drama wise. They just always in a rut. And when you step back and look at that, you gotta realize that that's a real programming, and it's detrimental and it's detrimental to your health. And I even go far as saying like it's a form of mental illness, because it starts internally. And I also look at individuals who, no matter what, is always an issue. They always negative. They always just got that aura of negativity, that aura of drama. Like it's always some BS with them. But I look at those individuals and I learn from them, because I'm like, well, if a person can always be negative, why can't a person always be positive? I'm not saying you got to be all happy-go-lucky all the time, because emotions, they go up and down. But you can have a constant, steady emotional pattern. That is definitely possible. I don't care what nobody say. That's definitely possible. But what I learned from individuals like that is like, or not just individuals, because it's an energy. It's not that actual person. But what I learned from that type of energy is like, if that energy exists, then you got to know that an abundant version of that also exists. And me personally, no matter what I go through, sometimes life does get the best of me, but I've trained my mind to see things from a different perspective, because anything can always happen. Just like if something can go wrong, something can work out in your favor. Just because you consciously cannot see it happening, that doesn't mean that it's not possible. The conscious mind is limited, so it's only so many viewpoints we can kind of see things happening. But anything is possible, no matter what the situation is. But to get to that mindset, you have to cultivate. You look at these individuals who are always on a negative frequency, always emitting a negative pattern. You look at what they put into their mind mentally, from the foods that they eat to the just the content they consume, just everything that they do, it ignites that negative pattern to continue to manifest in their life. And on the flip side, you look at someone who's always in a positive vibration, and you'll notice the thoughts, the things they tell themselves, the content they consume, the foods they eat. It's all in alignment to who you are, because it won't do you justice to go visualize and meditate, and then when you're done visualizing and meditating, you back doubting. It just don't mix. So you got to go internally, and you got to internalize. And I notice a lot of people just not going internal. We want that external validation like that. But the key is to go inside, and you have to do this work, people. This is the part that you cannot skip in life. If you want to get ahead, if you want to elevate, if you want to improve, you cannot skip doing the internal work. Yeah, you can get external glorifications without doing the internal work, but it's not going to last long. That's why you see people have all this money, all this what you deem to be success, and they're still not satisfied, in the sense of they trying to fill a void. You know, they haven't developed integrity. They haven't developed morals. They haven't developed an inner world or inner peace, an inner knowing that no matter what, everything is going to be okay. And that's why I create this channel, because even if I deep down don't know how things are going to play out, I still know that, hey, the power of the mind is it. You feel me? I have past experience from me fasting, from me detoxing, from me, you know, meditating on a consistent basis, from me spending time in nature, from me visualizing, you know, just being more disciplined. I have personal experiences from that, from my intuition, my discernment, my synchronicities. That's all mirroring back to me what I'm internalizing. And it also aids me to know that, hey, everything is going according to divine plan. So you have to do this internal work, people. You know, I know people may not want to meditate. They may not want to journal. They may not want to visualize, you know, but if you don't internalize and go inward, then you don't expect your external world to change. Now, you can change your external world without going internal. I'm going to say that too. But it's going to come with so much struggle, so much agony, so much defeat. And not saying that if you go internal, you're not going to face obstacles, but you're going to be able to enjoy the journey a little bit more. You're going to take everything as a lesson. You know, you're not going to be in a rush to do everything. You're going to know that in divine timing, everything is going to work out. You know, you have to be disciplined. This is a lifelong journey. And not saying that you cannot enjoy life, because I think there's a notion out there that the more aware and conscious you become, the more spiritual you become, the more limited. But honestly, from my experience, it's more the other way around. Like, the more I internalize, the more I go within, the more I raise my consciousness, the more open I become to a lot of things. Like, you can still enjoy life and be spiritual, but I think it's this aura around spirituality and awareness and consciousness that you just have to be at the house meditating all day, sipping tea. No, you can still, like I said, you can still go out here and be lit in life. You can still go out here and turn up and have a good time. I'm telling you, it's like, the more I go within, the more I enjoy life. And you can enjoy like the simplest things, like eating ice cream on a sunny day. You know, you learn to not be so dependent on the external substances that life presents you. You learn not to be addicted to the pleasures of life, even though pleasures are good. They feel good, but you learn not to depend on them, whether it's, you know, the pleasure of eating, the pleasure of sex, the pleasure of alcohol, the pleasure of drugs, you know, the pleasure of nowadays scrolling, you know, this instant gratification. You learn to be at peace. You know, you learn to just accept you. You learn to not rush and do things, because in divine timing, everything will work out. And I've learned all of this over the course of the years of my life, and I've been applying it. And now I've been seeing my intuition expanding. I've seen my discernment increasing, you know. And it's one of those things where now I'm at a point in my life where I notice that I'm not dependent on a lot of external substances, and it feels good. It feels good to just go out, and I can go out to a concert and not be drunk. But if I choose to have a drink, I do. But I can go out and just have a good time just because of being centered within. Because it's like, I'm so amazed and enthralled with personal development, because I know it's not a perfection thing. It's a lifelong thing. It's something I can do every day to become a better person. And when you start doing the work, it starts to emit through your aura, through your spirit. You don't even want to do nobody no dirt. I mean, now if you got to get gangster and somebody try you, hey, it is what it is. I ain't saying somebody slap you, turn the other cheek. Somebody slap me, hey, you feel me? It's going down. But we don't even put that energy out there, because it's like, you do that work, even the people who are negative, the people who people don't like, the people who, when they get around you, they may switch up. So you may experience a different version. This person may be an a-hole. This person may be, you feel me? But when they come around you, they'll switch up. You know, you'll experience a different version of them, because it's like that your aura, your energy, they need that. You feel what I'm saying? So all that negativity is going repel. So they gonna try to come, but that negative energy gonna bounce off your aura, you know? And it's real. It's real. Once you do that work, man, you gonna know your aura start shining a little brighter. Your thoughts, your intuition, all that's gonna get more just psh. So you can learn a lot from people who are negative. You know, you can learn a lot from that. So don't judge, just observe. And y'all keep going, y'all keep being good, y'all be great. And until next time, peace.